everybody! Today I'm back to make another birthday card. It's a card for a guy, and I thought I'd use this spectacular adventurous stamp set by Altenew. It comes with this pair of glasses and 3 inlays that depict different kinds of landscapes, and I'm going to use the mountain one today. I want to do some ink blending inside the glass part of the glasses. So for that I cut myself this stencil from Yupo. I first stamped it with StazOn ink, and then I just punched the hole in the middle and went around with my little fussy cutting scissors to cut out the glass part. And I also made myself a stencil for the mountain inlay part, so that you can just kind of blend the sky downwards. That's what I'm going to use later. And this is my stamp set, and it also comes with a die. And the first thing I want to do is stamp my glasses. I'm going to stamp them twice. Once to heat emboss and once to have the background that I'm going to ink blend on. So I've got some Neenah cardstock over here. The Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. And I'm just going to stamp my glasses on that. Just put them down. Pick the stamp up. Oh, I did have some ink over there, but that's no problem. Ink it up and stamp. Okay, that's good. And for the second one, I want to heat emboss it with silver embossing powder. So I'm quickly going to clean my stamp because I don't want to get black ink onto my Versamark ink pad. So just get a piece of paper and some water from my distress sprayer and just wipe this down. Like that. Okay, now the next panel, this is the same cardstock, and I'm going to grab my Versamark ink and I'm also going to get my glitter station or glitter tray, because I'm also going to use that for my embossing or embossing powder. So stamp or ink the glasses again. Ink, ink, ink. Close that. Stamp it down. Pick it up, and here I have my embossing powder. Just put that on. Missed a spot over there. And now I'm going to heat emboss this, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here I'm back with my heat embossed image with the silver embossing powder. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the inlay part on this piece. Get this off. I'm gonna clean that later. And grab the mountain inlay that fell over here. And I want to make sure that I nicely align it inside these glasses. Kind of toward the bottom. Oh, don't move it. Okay, I think I'm all right. should be. Okay, pick it up. And now I want to use two colors actually. I want to use green for the trees, and I want to use the speckled egg for the mountain part. And I want to make sure that it's a permanent ink because of the ink blending I'm going to do later. I don't want any smudges. To make inking up easier, I'm just going to remove this part of my stamp platform. Oh, there's a little bit of fuzz over here. Let me get that off. And I'll quickly get myself this piece just so I can see what is where. Actually, I'm going to use this piece. That should make it easier to see where which ink should go. I think I'm going to start with the speckled egg because the green is darker and will eventually cover it up. So I'm trying to get speckled egg ink on all of the mountain pieces on this kind of mountain range. And then I'm going to come with my archival rustic wilderness. And I can see little trees over here, so I'm trying to just hit those with a little bit of the rustic wilderness. Now I'm going to come in from the bottom for these trees. Should probably get my... Oh, that's better. Now I can see what I'm actually doing, especially with the green. So I'm just using the very edge of this stamp pad. I think I'm all right. And again, going up the tips of the trees just with the edge of the ink pad. Okay, and now let's hope for the best and just stamp it down. Meanwhile, close these up. Okay, I think I can work with that, although I'm not super happy how the bottom stamped, so I'm just going to try to re-stamp this part. And once more. And also this tree line over here. And probably these two small ones. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna go once more with the small ones up there, and then I think I'm good. Just touch those. Better. And I want to intensify the mountains a bit. And I think I had some darker ink left on these mountains over here. And that gave me kind of a mix between blue and gray, which is actually quite cool for this image because it should be a wintry mountain. So that's a lot better. And one thing I want to do is I want to get some green over here where this white strip is. I'm just going to Wait a second, close this one. I'm going to use an ink blending brush for that. I have these tiny ones from Altenew, and I think this would be just perfect for the job. So just pick up some ink. And just dab it down here. Get some more. Just get rid of that white. Okay. And once more, I want to go on the tips of those trees and then I'm done. Promise. Just get the white under here. Okay. This tree. Just a bit more ink and these down here. Yeah, I think we're good. Stamp that again. Okay, I'm happy with that. So get these out of the way. And I'm going to clean that stamp later. Because I've used archival, I need to use the archival cleaner for that. But I'm not going to do that now. I want to make sure that this is dry though, so I'm quickly going to hit it with my heat gun. I'll be right back. Okay, now this is dry, so next I'm going to do my ink blending on this. And for that, I'm going to align this stencil over here. And as you can see, I just cut around the mountains really, and not the tops of the trees, because a blue sky will of course always be lighter than the dark green of the trees. So you can easily blend over those. Just want to line it up like that. And I'm going to, even though I'm working in this platform with the magnets, for this part I'm going to use a bit of washi tape. Actually, let me grab this one over here, like that. Just to keep the mountain range stencil in place. Like that. And then I'm going to put this stencil over the top for the glasses. And this one I'm going to hold down with my magnets. Let me just make sure I'm nicely aligned. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to grab one of these ink blending brushes, and the sky should be nice and blue, so I'm going to start with some tumbled glass, and then I'm going to come in from the top with just a little bit of broken china. Just slowly come in from here. And again, you might think you don't see much, but when I lift the stencil, you will clearly see a difference. Just a little bit more of that. And now I'm going to just come in with the slightest bit of broken china just from the top. That's already enough for that glass. And now this one. I think that's good. Get these to the side. Get the brush out of the way. And now lift up the stencil. I'm going to clean those later with just some water. Get this one off. Okay, that looks pretty. So, get these out of the way. Do I still need this? I don't think so, at least not for now. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I want to fussy cut out the inner part of these glasses. And why I'm doing that, I mean, I could, of course, just use these and die cut them. But what I actually want to do is I want to lay this piece of plastic, I don't know if you can see it, but it has kind of a holographic shimmer. It's from a set of page protectors that I got, but I thought to imitate these, you know, those glasses that kind of mirror the image, you know, I actually hate those when people talking to me wear those glasses because you can constantly see yourself, and I don't like that. I want to add this as a layer in here so that you imitate that holographic shimmer of the glass. And that's why I need these to be cut out in the center, and then I'm going to die cut them with double-sided adhesive on the back, and then I'm going to lay this piece in between. These are going to be die cut as well. And yeah, then I have my glasses ready to go. So I'm going to fussy cut that out. I will not make you watch me do that, so I'll be right back. So I'm back. I have now heat embossed these glasses with the silver embossing powder. I have fussy cut out the inner part of the glass, and now I've already taped my die in place, and I'm going to die cut this. I also, before I started cutting, I put the double-sided adhesive on the back. So let me quickly die cut. Now this is the outer part, so I don't have to be too careful. I just want to be careful with my tape where my actual die cut will be. So these parts over here and over here. Okay, now get my die out like that. Okay, these will pop out later, or actually just pop them out while we're at it. Okay, so these are my glasses, and they're going to go on to these. And as I said before, I want to put this in between. So this part I'm actually going to stick onto this piece of the holographic foil. Because knowing myself, I might get excited that I have all my parts ready and then I forget to put that actually down. Is everything all right? And I'm going to put this down. And then I'm going to fussy cut around the glasses to get rid of the excess of the foil. But I'm going to do that a little later. Now I want to cut these glasses out. And let me just reuse some of this. Okay, that one's too stuck down. Just get myself a third piece again. Line this up. Like that. piece of washi on this side and over here, and a small piece here in the center. Okay, and send that through. Remove my tape again. And there we are. Just quickly get my die out, or it might end up in the trash, and that would be bad. Okay. So now what I need to do is gotta get these adhered together, and I will have to use very skinny tape for that, and that's again something that I don't want to bother you with, so I'm just going to do that. Now this is the thinnest tape that I have, and even that might be too thick in some places, so I'm going to figure this out, and when I have these assembled I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I've got my glasses all done. Now, as you can see, these are all die cut out. I embossed this layer with the silver embossing powder. I added my foil. I fussy cut around it to get rid of the excess foil, and then I adhered it to the back piece with the pattern or the landscape stamp. And you can kind of still see the holographic shimmer of the foil, but I think it gets a little lost. But yeah, if you tilt it to the light, you can still kind of see it. So here we are with the glasses. Now I want to work on my background. And for that I have this 5.5 by 5.5 piece of the Nina cardstock. And I am going to use this set for my background. It's by Altenew. It's the Pine Forest 3D embossing folder. And I'm also going to use the stencils that go with it. So let me do the embossing first. And because it's a 3D embossing folder, to make it easier for the paper, I'm just going to give the paper a little spritz of water on the back. Did that out of camera. And I'm not sure what the size of my card is actually going to be in the end, so I wanted to give myself all the room I could get. Is this straight? Looks like it. Now run this through my die cut machine to emboss it, and because it's a 3D embossing folder, I'm going to run it through 3 times. So once, then going back, that's number 2, and then going that way again, number 3. Put this to the side. Here we have the embossing. And now I want to do the ink blending. And I want this to be a wintry scene, and I want the trees in the distance to be lighter and paler than the trees in the foreground. So I thought I would use the iced spruce distress ink, the evergreen bough, and because I have the rustic wilderness archival in this piece, to bring it back I'm also going to use the rustic wilderness distress ink. And for the tree trunks, I'm going to use the walnut stain. Wait a second, let me grab the rustic wilderness. That's still in my little shelf over here where I keep my ink pads. Okay. So now, just quickly make sure that my blending brushes are kind of clean. Okay. And now this is the first stencil. Oops. And I'm going to line it up on here. And I think to make life easier for myself, I'm going to hold my stencil in place with my magnets in my stamp platform, because I don't want it to slide around, obviously. Get my cardstock in here. Come on. Nice. Okay. And at one place you can feel it locking in with the embossed pattern. That's when you know your stencil is in the right place. And because there are different kinds of trees, I'm going to just work from the top to the bottom and actually leave the bottom out for now. If I'm missing a spot, I can always go back later, but I don't want to risk blending too much into the foreground. So I'm going to use this blending brush over here and work my way down. And good thing about this pattern is that it's nature, so no two trees look the same. And if a spot is darker or another spot is lighter, the reason for that could always be the lighting, or maybe what kind of tree it is, or how far it's away from you. So I'm not too bothered about making everything even and one color. The color variation actually adds a lot of interest in natural patterns, I think. And you can kind of see where you need to go down a little further, because the front row of the trees leaves these gaps. But I think for my back layer, I'm done. Now get the evergreen bough for layer number 2. That's gonna go here. And again, work my way from the top to the bottom. And these over here. Pick that up. Ooh, nice and wintry. And now I've got these trees. That's layer number 3. Line that up. And actually with this one, I also want to go with the evergreen bough because it's behind all of these trees over here. So quickly grab a paper towel, make sure the brush isn't to green from the evergreen bough and get my iced spruce back. But I want to work on this one even lighter than I did in the first layer. So just really hint at it. And for this one, I want to, let me see, where's the embossing? Yeah, I gotta go darker with this one. And I'm gonna go darker with this one as well, but I'm trying to stay away from this tree over here. Close that. Close that. And to do that, I'm just going to get a piece of paper and tear a little piece to mask this area off. And to mask this area off. Okay, so here is the rustic wilderness. Get my blending brush loaded. So start with this tree and kind of mask this piece off. And here I want to go heavy on that ink because I want to cover this piece up. So let me see if that works. And go a little down into the stem as well. Okay, kind of worked out. Let me get a smaller blending brush for this piece over here. Okay, and now here I want this piece masked off and actually this piece as well. So can I use that again? Kind of. Yeah, I think we're good like that. And stay away with this edge over here. Like that. Okay. Now that's going to get interesting. Let me work from this side first. Okay, now let's check what we've got. And that looks pretty, well, actually, I didn't have to mask that off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and go heavier on this side. Okay, just stay away from this left edge of that tree. Like that. And that looks all right. Over here I just want to go back with some more of the evergreen bough in this area. Grab myself a clean blending brush because I don't want to contaminate my blending over here with a brush that has the rustic wilderness on it. So get this on, and where did I want to get more ink top to bottom. Okay, like that. Okay, I think that's fine. Yeah. Now what I want to do is get a bit of brown onto these tree trunks. So, oops. For that I'm just quickly going to hold the stencil in place and work in some of the walnut stain with this little blending brush. Just swiping it from the bottom up so that it kind of blends in. I don't want any hard edges. Just like that. And this one. And then I need two more, this one and this one. That's this stencil. Get this in place. And just swipe a little bit of the brown ink. That looks good. Could I have aligned it a little better? I don't think so. Could I? Let me see. That gets rid of that white edge at the bottom. Yeah, okay. Leave it at that and be happy. Trees are done. Get this out of my way. And now I want to blend the sky. And because I use the tumbled glass and what was the other, broken china over here, I want to use the tumbled glass again, just to keep the background or the sky really light. Let me grab this blending brush again. And just lightly blend in from the top toward the trees. Not too much. And if something's not even, or if you have white spots, well, I think that even kind of adds to a wintry background or wintry sky. With the hint of clouds. I think maybe a little bit more here, but I think done. Maybe highlight these spots a little more, just to get a kind of cloudy effect. Probably get in the corner a little more. I think that's good. And for the effect of snow, at the bottom I want to use my Wink of Stella pen. So I just have this clear one again, and I'm going to go around the bottom of the trees. Oh, over here I have another tree trunk showing. Let me see if that's in the stencil. Yes, it is. Just get that brown as well, because you can see the trunk over there. Just with what's left on this brush. That's better. Okay, and now I'm going around my trees with my Wink of Stella, just loosely brushing it in, but I'm being careful not to touch the ink that I just applied, because this pen would re-wet it, and then I would get brown or green into my snow, and we don't want that, of course. Carefully in between here. and up here, and I think we're good. I hope you can see the shimmer. Let me kind of tilt it toward the light. I hope you can see. Okay, so now I'm going to figure out what size of card front I actually want and how I'm going to assemble it, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so here I'm back, and now I've figured out how I want to assemble my card. I decided to leave this as a whole panel and not cut it down as I thought I would do. And it measures 5.5 by 5.5. So I cut myself a dark blue card base measuring 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. But before adhering this down to the card base, I want to do a few other things. Now here are the glasses, of course, that we made before. And here I've cut myself these fishtail banners. They are a die by Elizabeth Craft Designs called Diagonal Stitched Fishtails, number 1693. And I've cut these from this light blue glitter cardstock for the wintery effect that I want to get. Then to kind of accentuate the sentiment a little more, I cut it from this darker pearl cardstock. It's called Sage, I think, Dark Sage or something like that. And I want to kind of stagger these banners. And here I have the sentiment, Have a Beautiful Day. That is from the beautiful autumn set by Stampin' Up. It's this one over here. And I stamped it with the Versamark and embossed it with the Broken China embossing glaze by Tim Holtz. And I kind of want to use these banners to anchor my glasses, because it would be kind of weird to just have them floating in the air somewhere. And in the end, I want it to look something like that. And I've already put double-sided adhesive on all of these. So let me quickly assemble that. This one goes down first. Let me just see. A little bit higher maybe, like that. I think that's okay. The length of my sentiment is that, so let me get it about here and make sure it is straight before actually sticking it down. Eyeballing this, but it looks good. Now this one goes down next. I think I'm going to do it like that. Just stick it down again, making sure it is straight. Like that. And now add my sentiment strip. Kind of like this. Okay. Now let me cut these pieces off from the back to get my straight edge back. Okay. And now I want to put it onto my card base. Again, I've put the double-sided adhesive on the back of this card panel. And I used a little more than I usually would because it kind of curled on me a little bit. I don't know why. But to straighten it out, I thought I'd use a few more strips of tape. Okay. Let me see, I want to have this nice and centered and of course straight. More to the top, like that, like that. I'm always very particular when it comes to lining things up straight, so this always takes me a little while, but that pays off in the end because then it just looks nicer. No, that's like that, like that. I think we're good. Okay, stick it down. And make sure it's nice and flat on my card base. Okay. Oops. Okay, and these I have with the foam tape on the back to lift them up a bit from the rest of my card. And I'll get them in position like that, I think. Not too high, not too low. And this is my finished card for a guy. I hope you liked it. If so, give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment, or even better, subscribe to my channel. See you soon. Bye.